Hi, my name is Barry Sterling Mitchell. I produce the Sterling Net Point Power Rankings, and this is Ben and Barry on football.
My name is Ben Dickerson. I'm your co-host, lover of everything football, especially the NFL. And I'm a fantasy geek, which has me in an uproar right now because fantasy basketball has started. But we won't get into that. We're going to stick to football.
Fantasy geek on cross sports, not just football, basketball, hockey, baseball. It's a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, I didn't do hockey this year, but I did do baseball big time.
Do they have a authority for that? I mean, they talk about all the video games and helping the thing. Do they have
fantasy golf? Yeah, it's tough. I tried it one time. It's pretty tough. I couldn't keep up.
Well, you can put all that fantasy stuff in motion or in use for the show as it's coming up. We're going to start off with the top 5. I produced the Sterling Net Point Power Rankings, and if you go to sterlingnppr.com, you'll arrive at my Facebook page where most of this information that we're about to show you is residence. And we will start off with our favorite person, Todd. Todd stands for turnover differential, and we track 4 categories: net points, points for, points against, and turnover differential as the foremost fundamental statistics as far as we're concerned. So let's go top 5, starting at 5 with a +6. We have the Panthers.
Carolina Panthers, good defense.
Luke Kuechly got that. What did he turn? He caused an interception on my Niners, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
I know something I like about that guy. No, he's great. I think he's awesome. I had a question of, making sure about him. I was a little concerned whenever he's out there because he's so smart and so fast. Seahawks, number with 7, tied with the Packers.
Oh, they're tied. Yes.
NFC. As a matter of fact, we have 1, 2,
you have
3.
2 AFC teams and 3 NFC teams. The 2 AFC teams are on the top.
On the top, big time. Steelers still got the skew though. Took 5 in one game for my Niners.
That's true.
But now this is through game 9.
Yeah.
So that the other 8 games they had 6. So that's less than 1 a game thereafter. But Minka Fitzpatrick, man, talk about a pickup, man.
Difference maker right off the bat as soon as they got him.
Wow. Awesome. And then the Patriots, who, surprisingly had turnover issues. Lead the league in turnover differentials +17. But that one turnover that they gave up to the Ravens on that pass.
That was this just past week. Let's not.
It's included in the numbers.
Okay, it's one.
It's
turnover.
Included in the. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Are they still number 1?
Yeah.
Are they still number 1 by a good margin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they are.
All right, let's keep it like that for now.
They are.
We can talk about their deficiencies later, because the guy who's been saying I can't find a weakness. Guess what?
You found a weakness.
Found a weakness.
No, not you. All right. Well, let's see what we're going to do here on the next category, which is points against. And points against, that's your defense. Let's take a quick look here. Sir, at your top 5, at number 5, the Bears with 144, just 2 off of number 4, the Cowboys. So there's your 2 very closely related defenses. Your Bills that you've been touting still in number 3. My Niners at number 2 with 102, and the Patriots again at 108. Now, what's weird when you're looking at defenses is I actually took a look just to see in terms of yardage. The reason we use points and things like that rather than yardage is because nobody has won a game yet. based on the number of yards that they've accumulated.
No.
But it's related.
But it is related.
It is related. Defensively, it looks as if the Tampa Bay, is this what they've given up? In terms of yardage, you've got Ravens, Tampa Bay, Vikings, all doing pretty good jobs of controlling rushing yardage. Who else am I looking at? The Texans, the Jets. Some of these teams are teams that you might not expect to hear. So maybe they're controlling the run, but they're giving up a ton of stuff in the air. But long story short, these are the teams that are giving up the least amount relative to actual points. And Patriots have yet to reach 3 digits.
And when we get to the next category, which is points for, you'll find 4 of these 5 teams points against not there. Only the Patriots are in the top 5 in points for and points against, which tells you that although the 49ers, Bills, Cowboys, and Bears have formidable defenses, again, as we go through the season, sometimes teams begin to falter or show certain deficiencies as their schedules change. Some teams start to pick it up as they go along. But none of those teams, being the 49ers, Bills, Cowboys, or Bears, I would think anybody would mistake as an offensive juggernaut. Yet they're in the top 5 points against, which basically tells you that they keep the games close. They're knockdown dragouts for the most part. No crazy high-scoring games, no blowouts. So,
well, if you want to get blown out,
then you want to look at some of these teams. And the first thing you'll see right off the bat is look at the quarterbacks on those teams.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah. This is a big time quarterback season to me. I don't know about the pundits and the people on television, all this, but the quarterbacks that we all know and love are all in the top 5 right now. We still got a little ways to go, but look at these guys. Look at the quarterbacks of these teams.
Well, if you want to talk about quarterbacks that we know and love, I would have to go down one more slot to number 6 in points for, which would include my Niners. But I understand what you're saying.
If you understand what I'm saying, then you wouldn't go down.
Oh, don't even try it.
Dude, this guy started 18 games in his NFL career. Let's not go there.
He's great.
These dudes are all. Matter of fact, has he started as many games as Lamar Jackson yet in his NFL career?
And yet he's undefeated. It's amazing, isn't it?
That's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're talking about. You're changing the subject.
Talking about
so
points.
I'm going to let you talk about points for. You're changing the subject now. So
What?
Let's stick to points for.
I'm sorry.
You can't compare him to Tom Brady. You can't even compare him to Mahomes. You surely can't compare him to Lamar Jackson. I don't care if he's undefeated or
Well,
not.
it's going to be fun, though,
And
coming
you
up.
surely can't compare him to Dangerous Russ.
That's what we're going to have to do coming up in the weekend
And we'll get to that too.
We'll get to that. You can talk all of that.
But the bottom line is, when you're talking about points for, all 5 of these teams are being helmed by tremendous quarterbacks that are having really good seasons. Some a little bit better than others, but they've done it in the past. They've proven themselves to be Pro Bowl worthy, and they're leading the way right now.
So one of those wins, one of those wins the Chiefs has was not even by Mahomes. And the rest of them are just top-notch quarterbacks. I can't argue with you too much. My boys is down there with the Kirk Cousins and the Jameis Winstons. And look who's even lower on the totem pole of points for. You've got your Dak Prescott's at number 9 and your Carson Wentz's at number 11. AR at number 10. Now, interesting enough, they had an interview on TV to lead a Keep the lead
Yes.
was talking about Jared Goff
Okay.
because he's now traded from the Rams
Yes.
to the Dolphins.
Yes.
And just spoke of him in glowing terms, like he's like so much greater than what you people really know he is. Did you see that in Goff?
No, I didn't see it. Oh, did I? Do I agree?
Do you agree?
I think Goff is a very good quarterback, a very good NFL quarterback.
Did you see your Keith?
I didn't see the interview. Yeah, I believe in Goff, and I think that the head coach there has done a wonderful job with him. And again, let's remember, was he in his third year? Let's give this guy a chance. He's a top-notch guy. He can lead an offense. They have a dynamic offense, and he's not heavily turnover prone. He's got all the tools. What are you going to say? I think the guy's a pretty good quarterback. I'm not going to call him great because he's not one of those top five. Those top five in the points for, at least two of them are bona fide. I'm talking about being around for a while, bona fide great. And the other three are all basically, did they all come in the same draft, darn near?
Well, you talking about
Mahomes, Jackson, and Watson.
And Deshaun.
They were all real close.
Yeah.
But everybody loves them.
You can almost kind of put some of these group generationally.
Yes. And that's what's going to happen. I can remember, I forget what draft it was, but I think it was the draft when Marino came out. Marino, Kelly, the guy who played for the Jets, they all came out. It was like six of them. And they're like, oh, this is the greatest quarterback class ever.
I'm talking about Namath.
No, this is after Namath.
Okay.
This is after Namath.
Okay.
But that for a long time, they considered that the greatest quarterback class ever. So they'll be talking about this one later. Absolutely.
Yeah. And Ravens, Saints, that was my intriguing game of the week last week. Man, it was Ravens, Patriots. I'm sorry.
Right.
Intriguing game. And you talk about one quarterback who just couldn't quite look like himself. I mean, as the number one man in the NFL, and the other one is just, them two gears. Those two gears that he has. We talked about him having two extra gears
that nobody else has. He had the one escape where he escaped underneath the rush. He just dipped underneath and shot off to the left. And I keep hearing cheat code. It's just not fair.
It's like the guy was boxing, but it's just like with anything, especially with that option. Once you understand that whole option thing, it's like the end can't win because whatever he does, you know where to go. He either comes down the line and you go outside, or he boxes and you go in.
But it was the simplest, most basic pistol formation, Chip Kelly stuff. But he just makes it special.
Two extra gears that everybody else has, no doubt.
Well, when we talk about last week's games,
we can talk about that a little bit more. Let's talk about net points.
All right.
Because that's what it's all about here. Because once you score and once you give up some points, it's
do your thing with the turnovers. Oh, the turnovers are a part of this.
Well, that's what adds into the bias plus when we put it all together.
But this is the raw numbers.
These are the raw numbers. So your Ravens and your Vikings at 5 and 4 respectively are just one net point apart. The Cowboys at number 3. I hear Dex used the expletive and said that something about there's no such effing team that can stop us.
When did he say that? Right after the game, he was like,
I don't know. They just reported it. I heard it reported that. He was excited. He probably had the juices flowing.
It was 16-15 at the start of the fourth quarter. Please stop. Please stop. No effing team. Yes, come on. What were you doing for 3 quarters?
Well, we're going to talk more about when we do the review. And so in only 2 teams with 3 digits, my beloved 49ers at 133, thanks to that defense. And yes, we have a developing offense, no doubt. And the Patriots at 172. So even with that loss, that's a pretty strong net point lead for the Patriots.
It's real strong. It's almost 100-point lead over the 4th and 5th place.
Especially for a team that, you know, I mean, we're giving them credit for their defense, but people are still questioning that offense.
As they should.
To be quite honest with you, they couldn't get it going the way they wanted to. Now once they went into a little bit of up tempo in that last game, you know, they were able to do some things, but you know, one turnover, bam, and then all of that good yardage gone to waste.
Since the beginning of the season, they've been quietly, and not so quietly, searching and looking around and bringing people in and let's try this guy, you know, the whole AB, Josh Gordon. Now we got Mohamed Sanu. You know, there was talk about Emmanuel Sanders, but he got away to the Niners. Some other guys they're talking to, trying to bring in this week. So they know that they aren't as dynamic on offense as they probably would want to be. And every time they play a good defensive team, which the Ravens are, they're not great, but they're a good defensive team, who has now laid the blueprint kind of to get into them, they're going to have problems. So they need playmakers. They're not getting what they need out of Sony Michel. I think he can play better. James White has been solid, but these guys they're all role players. Like they have 4 or 5 running backs, but each one has their own little niche. And if they use 3 or 4 of them per game in their little niche, it makes for one complete running game. But when they need to get the ball downfield, they basically only got Edelman for now. Sanu could pick it up as he gets more into the playbook, but I don't know. We'll see. And they let Josh Gordon go. To Seahawks.
And guess,
yeah,
exactly. Here we go.
Holy smokes.
Here we go. Anyway, that wraps up the top 5 for right now. Next up is going to be last week's review of last week's games.